Why agree to disagree is damaging your relationships. And what can you do about it? Hi, champions. I'm Dr. Meghna Dikshit, author of You Matter. And I'm so excited to welcome you to our channel. Here we dive deep into the limitless potential of your mind and your brain. We explore all areas of your life, health, your money, career, relationships. We explore the secrets to success and help you heal from your past and prepare for an extraordinary future. So if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And for my committed subscribers, welcome back. Your journey to mastering your mind and your brain begins here. And if you're ready to now dive into the topic of what's happening in your relationships when you do agree to disagree, dive in the chat box and let's get going. Today, I gently want to challenge a belief we have all been taught. Something that seems wise, peaceful, and mature, but might actually be hurting us more than we know. Yes, I'm talking about the popular phrase, let's just agree to disagree. Seems like a peaceful thing to say, right? But what if I told you that agreeing to disagree might actually be blocking your emotional growth, damaging your relationships, and keeping you from a deeper truth? So stay with me. Because what we are going to uncover today might just change the way you handle every disagreement in your life. Let us begin with understanding the illusion of peace. Why agree to disagree feels safe to us? Let me share a case study. This couple came to me for a consultation a couple of months back. They had been married for 12 years. They loved each other deeply. But every time they discussed raising their kids, from which schools to get the admissions to religion to follow, they would clash. Eventually, the wife suggested, let's just agree to disagree. We don't have to see eye to eye on everything, right? So they stopped discussing it altogether. And on the surface, things seemed peaceful, but over time, resentment grew in silence. The kids started sensing the tension. And by avoiding the conversation, they never truly understood each other's fears, dreams, or reasoning. That unresolved disagreement slowly eroded the intimacy they once had. This is the first problem with agreeing to disagree. It often becomes a way to avoid growth. Point number 2, it blocks expansion and reinvention. When two people stop at disagreement, they stop evolving altogether. The true purpose of relationships is not to avoid conflict, it's to grow through it. Disagreements are not threats, they are invitations. Invitations to stretch our awareness, challenge our biases, and reach for a higher truth. If the husband had been curious about his wife's fears around their children's exposure to certain ideologies, and if the wife had truly listened to her husband's desire for the kids to think independently, they could have arrived at a richer, more expansive parenting philosophy together. But agreeing to disagree closed that door. Point number 3. Some conflicts simply can't be parked. Let's get real. Some disagreements go way beyond preference. They affect actions, choices, and consequences. Let me share another example with you. Two entrepreneurs started a wellness company together. One partner believed in holistic healing, while the other leaned towards clinical evidence-based models. Initially, they agreed to disagree and ran parallel offerings, but soon marketing clashed. Brand messaging confused customers, and the team felt torn. Eventually, the business hit a breaking point. Why do you think this happened? Because opinions are not just words. They lead to choices, and those choices lead to actions that affect real people. You can't agree to disagree on whether to vaccinate your children, or whether to fire an employee, or how to conduct a funeral. Conflict of interest is not just emotional, it is practical. So when we pretend to park these issues, they don't disappear. They become landmines just waiting for a trigger. Point number 4, it damages true connection. Here is the emotional part that no one tells you. Agreeing to disagree can feel like emotional abandonment. You are saying, I will tolerate your view, but I will never try to understand it. And I won't let you into mine. It becomes a subtle form of separation, a pulling away, not leaning in. I'm going to share another example with you. This lady came to me for her relationship challenges. She was experiencing serious trouble in her friendship. They were besties since childhood. It was a friendship of 25 years. Not only them, but their families were also deeply connected. But when political tensions rose in the country, they found themselves on opposite sides. Her friend suggested they just agree to disagree. But the silence between them grew louder. Every conversation felt like walking on eggshells. Slowly, they stopped talking about anything meaningful. They did not lose their friendship in one big fight. They lost it through emotional distancing, masked as maturity. This lady went through major depression. Point number 5. The ego trap. False sense of superiority. Here is a kicker. Often agreeing to disagree is a mask for thinking we are right. It's a subtle, superior tone. You will see someday, I will wait for you to rise up. And while that may not be said aloud, it's felt. What makes it dangerous is that it comes disguised as virtue. I am so tolerant, I am so evolved, I am so patient. But real wisdom is not in tolerating opposition, it's in seeking unity without control. It's about transcending polarity, not defending it. And now we come to what is the alternative. Let's be honest, not every disagreement will resolve easily. But instead of agree to disagree, let's do something else. First, let's agree to stay curious. Second, let's agree to keep listening. Third, let's seek alignment, not agreement. Fourth, let's explore what truth is trying to emerge between us. Remember the couple I worked with? They did not agree to disagree. Instead, they did something radical. In their joint consultation sessions, I asked them to write individually what they feared most, what mattered most, and what they were willing to compromise on. From that vulnerable space, they created a plan on how to raise their kids. That alignment did not come from tolerance. It came from emotional courage. Point number 7, the higher path. Seek authentic alignment. Alignment doesn't mean giving up your truth. It means being willing to refine your truth in the light of a higher truth. It's not about conformity, it's about clarity. So ask yourself, is this belief I'm clinging to really mine or something I inherited? Am I defending it to feel safe or because it is truly serving me? Is this conflict asking me to evolve? When we choose alignment, we invite healing for ourselves and for others. Finally, don't settle for stalemates. Let me say it clearly. Agreeing to disagree is not the highest path. It's a convenient pause, not a real resolution. The universe doesn't let us skip our lessons. If something is unresolved, whether in your marriage, your workplace, your friendships, it will keep returning again and again in louder and more painful ways until it is seen, felt, and healed. So instead of saying, let's agree to disagree, say, let us take this as a chance to grow together. Here are a few soul reflective prompts just for you. First, where in your life have you agreed to disagree but feel deep emotional tension? Second, what are you afraid will happen if you pursue alignment instead of avoidance? Third, what belief or identity are you protecting by not changing your opinion? Fourth, can you open your heart to a higher perspective, even if it challenges yours? So my champions, remember, it's not about being right, it is about being real. It's about being willing to evolve even when it is uncomfortable. If this video sparked something inside you, please like it, share it with someone you care about. Subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss the next deep dive. Tell me in the comments, have you ever agreed to disagree and how did it work or didn't work for you? And if you need more help on your communications, your connections with people, then make sure to check out on 2 links in the chat box. First is to attend my complimentary seminar for you to rewire your brain, to heal yourself so you show up in your complete authenticity in your relationships. Second, you can buy my book from Amazon, You Matter, and start your journey of increasing your self-worth and your self-value in relationships so that you create beautiful world for yourself. Until next time, stay aligned, stay aware, and stay in love with your truth because you matter.